Hey guys, how's it going? The topic for today is who is the best Season 3 character out of all the characters we got in this season. Joining me in this video is Mir. What's going on, man?
Hey, doing pretty well.
So, this will be interesting. I get this question a lot, actually, on who the best character is. But I thought it'd be best that we actually go from the worst to the best. So we'll go through all 6 that was introduced this season for Season 3. And, you know, there's been this kind of curse going on, Mir, where we're just not seeing any of these characters in tournaments, really. Not too much, right? Except for Sagat and G, I guess. But the previous characters, not too much in top 16, top 64 representation. So let's start off here with our character that we feel is the worst out of all 6 for Season 3, and that is Sakura. Mir,
yes,
tell us why.
Sakura. Well, I mean, there's many reasons, and we thought about this for a long time because we know that regardless of what we said, we're gonna get crucified. So
might as well, for sure.
Might as well put Sakura in here. And well, one of the reasons is, I mean, both V triggers are bad. there's not really like any way around it.
Some of the worst in the game.
Yes.
And this is one of the things too why we put her on our bottom 5. Like, she was lower mid on our Season 3 tier list, the mid-season tier list. And it's not just that her V triggers are bad, her conversions are bad too with her stubby normals. Like, getting into your V trigger is a big deal in Street Fighter 5, you know, and there's some characters that just can't get into it well. That's why you see Ryu going into sweep. V trigger is sweep most of the time, you know, because they have stubby normals. Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Sakura also plays her neutral with light, you know, staying light kick, and that's a big problem when the priority system is so important in Street Fighter 5, right? It's just a horrible way to play neutral, unfortunately. So she definitely has issues in matchups where she has to deal with strong pokes or you know, zoning, because her own counter zoning is pretty poor. Her fireball is kind of slow. You know, you can charge it up, but I mean, you can get jumped in on really easily if it gets baited. Your V skill is like not a thing in most matchups.
Hey, they buffed it though. They buffed it. It's getting there.
Yeah, they did buff it.
It's getting there. She has EX uppercut if she's like close. That can go through fireballs, but that's meter dependent. Like her heavy Tatsu, if you gotta anticipate it to go over the fire. You can't do it on reaction to go over fireballs. And even still, it's not really that big of a punish anyways, you know? And it'd be really bad if you guess wrong and the opponent like neutral jumps her or whatever. So it is kind of odd. As a Shoto type character, she gets out Shoto for sure. But she does have some strengths though, especially when she's close. Like, she's got a really good shimmy game. Her movement speed is excellent. Before they nerfed her throw, actually, she was really good in the corner. Excellent pressure. Her down forward heavy kick command normal is really good. A lot of +3s. And it's just that her normals are stubby. Once they get close, though, she's actually quite plus. And a lot of Sakura players now, I'm noticing a trend where they'll go full screen, charge up a full fireball, and then chase after it, kind of like Guile. And that's the way Sakura players are finding a way to get in now on players. Especially as I'm playing Sagat, I notice a lot of Sakura players are doing that. If they can get away with it, though. That's the thing. But
yeah, especially, you know, like by playing this way, it's really easy for your opponent to force you in the corner, since you're like trying to, you know, build up that space. So once you're in the corner, you cannot like realistically back out. Yeah.
I think if Capcom, because she's been already buffed, out of all these characters we're about to talk to, Sakura has, you know, had a buff here, had a patch to go through, and I feel like Capcom figures out a way for her to deal with the zoning, some of the zoning matchups better, or they go after the zoners in the next patch. And if they actually take a really good look at her normals, her V-trigger conversions, and her V-triggers themselves, that will really push her up to the top. Because once, like I said, once she gets in, she's actually pretty good. It's just getting in that's the problem, and sticking to them like glue.
Yeah, and you know, and the V-trigger comeback potential is pretty low because of the, you know, bad V triggers.
Absolutely, yeah. They really only looked at V trigger 1 for her. Okay, next character. Who's better than Sakura? We put Falk next up on this list. So Falk, She's been out for a little bit now. I was very disappointed with this character, for a lot of different reasons about how she turned out, especially how linear she is. But in terms of competitive play, she does have the tools she needs in neutral. She's got really long range normals, right? Really good anti-airs. It just requires perfect play, you know? You don't get rewarded too much. You don't really gain too much momentum. You're kind of just chipping them away with very strong neutral until they die, you know?
Yes. Yeah, and your I mean, you like I said, you have good tools like a reliable anti-air. There's only 2 buttons, right? You even have crouching hard punch if you don't feel like using your special moves. You have good pokes, and those can help you in certain matchups. Like, you know, the fact that you have anti-airs on demand like this help against Cammy, which, you know, is widely considered one of the best characters in the game.
Yeah, just pressing 2 buttons, man. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She does have, you know, good matchups, or at least decent matchups. So that definitely helps. But like you mentioned, she's very linear, and although she can deal with zoning, and, you know, she has a little bit of pressure up close, she's just very predictable and not like her offense, and I mean even her defense is not that powerful after all. Like, the damage is relatively low, for example.
Right. It's like she has no options, man. Like, all of her moves are really redundant with each other. They're all like combo fillers. Most of the Oki is relatively the same, and she just doesn't have any options. She has like her down forward hard kick command, which is kind of unique. It makes her a plus, but her dash is so slow. I think her dash is 20 frames, and
yeah, it's pretty slow.
Her dive kick, the down medium kick in the air, it always forces her to jump. There's no real way to mix it up, right? The opponent can easily punish it on hit or block in some cases. She just doesn't have much to work with in general.
Yeah, I guess they expected you to use that on Wake Up when, you know, it doesn't bounce to create a mix-up, but she really has no setups for it, so...
yeah, I mean, I've seen 1 or 2, but yeah, you don't see it too often, right? What's holding back Falk is that she's just extremely linear and predictable, and she's got terrible V-triggers. Oh man, her V-trigger 2 is not even worth mentioning, but she has that Sakura problem. She's got better V-trigger conversions because she has long-range normals. She can get into V-trigger well with V-trigger 1, specifically. But even when you get it out, I mean, there's not too much. 3 shots, and those shots don't really add much to the table to begin with. So.
Yeah, like you said, V-trigger 2 is basically not even a V-trigger. It's impossible to land it without getting punished yourself. Like,
right.
you have to know that it's gonna hit, and even then, you know, with the nerfs to V-trigger scaling and whatnot, like the initial conversion is not even that rewarding.
Yeah. Okay, moving up here, we're getting to the slightly better characters now. Now we're gonna be putting up Cody. So Cody here, Cody has some pretty strong damage. I was really pleased actually how this character turned out. He's really fun to play, but he definitely has his issues, especially when they changed Cody's moveset a lot from what it used to be from Street Fighter 4, for example. And one of those things is definitely his Zonk, which was changed, and because of this, it lost its Fireball invincibility. He has huge issues against zoners, I feel. Especially Guile and especially Manat. Oh man, really tough for Cody to deal with.
You have a Fireball to deal with this matchups, but it's just not enough, especially when, you know, your opponent's Fireball is probably much better than yours.
Right. You also have his V-triggers. Now, his V-trigger 1 doesn't really help him with the zoning. It helps him more with his neutral and his aggressive game, but his V-trigger 2 can help deal with some zoning for sure, but it's not exactly game-changing, you know? We've seen a lot of, like...
Luckily enough, it lasts for quite a bit because it doesn't consume your meter when you're just reflecting fireballs, so it can give you some breathing room. But yeah, like you said, it's not necessarily game-changing. Although you have nice options out of it, you know, really strong post-stun combos, for example, once you're in V-trigger 2. So there's definitely some merits to both V-triggers. Like even V-trigger 1 has pretty strong pressure, and you know, it really helps your kind of like mid-range offense with long-range normals, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like they're not, you know, they're not the best V-triggers around for sure.
Right. Like we put Cody somewhere in the middle of this season, tier list wise, right? So
yes.
I mean, yeah, everything is okay, so to speak. He also, like, he's a neutral based character, but he really lacks those strong neutral crush counters that we see in the higher echelon of characters. So Cody really relies on his standing light kick, for example. But in terms of like threatening somebody with a higher, strength normal, he's got his standing heavy kick crush counter, but it's just too slow, man. It starts up in 15 frames. Like, it's way too slow to use.
Yeah, even during V Trigger 2, where you have a standing heavy punch, it's not even that threatening, right? Because the conversion you get off of it is minimal.
Yeah.
So yeah, like like you said, you lack those strong crush counters in neutral.
But one thing about Cody that's really unique actually is his V-skill. As an anti-air and for stopping a lot of weird block strings and stuff. Like, Cody's V-skill is definitely one of his game-changing things for that character, and because of that, he handles Cammy especially well. The same way that Folk handles Cammy well in some cases. So V-skill
having a 2-button anti-air that's actually invincible.
Yeah.
It's really convenient.
And it's great too. It's a great design move because it's based on Final Fight, so it's just it's cool that they added that to Cody. So I think Cody, I mean, they should definitely take a look at how he deals with zoning a little bit better. Maybe give him some options with that. But Cody, he's an okay spot. He's definitely not explored too well tournament wise. So we'll see what they do with him in season 4. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, moving up here, we're down to 3 characters left now. So the character that goes above Cody, we put Sagat. So I actually changed this around a bit. I was gonna put Sagat on the higher part, but now we put him one step lower here. So Sagat, after playing for a while, obviously he's got excellent zoning, really good. Not too many really strong zoners in Street Fighter V, but Sagat can definitely handle it. He's got the Carrot Tiger shots, the high, low, excellent speed, good hurt boxes when he throws them out, good recovery in general. But the problem with Sagat is that he just does very low damage. You basically don't get rewarded for winning with Sagat. I feel like if you anti-air somebody with uppercut, for example, it does extremely low damage, low stun, and you're barely pushed them away, and you're back in the same scenario where they can jump on you on any second. You throw a tiger shot and it could be lights out. Most of the time you can't even get a tiger scar, his V-skill, after an uppercut in the first place. You usually only get it after an EX tiger shot, and that's only against certain characters. So you don't even get rewarded in that sense either. So, I mean, it's just really strange.
Like, it's really powerful anti-airs are just too slow to be practical. Like, for a hard kick gives you a juggle, but I mean, you basically have to read a jump to actually use it.
And
or
from the
catch
range is like full screen. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, like when we say low damage, we don't necessarily mean combo damage, but like your gameplay is that of a zoner, right? And when you're zoning, your damage is low. And even on the offense, he has trouble on the offense since he's pretty slow character.
Yeah,
his normals are slow, and his conversions are not the greatest.
Right. His mobility is definitely a huge issue. And another problem is his V-triggers. Once again, we've had a lot of problems with V-triggers for Season 3 characters in their design. There's very little amount of comeback. And Sagat has a huge problem when the opponent has a life lead on him. He just has literally nothing he can do. Like, if he chases, he's in serious trouble. His slow tiger shots don't go slow enough for you to use it to chase the opponent, right? So, basically, like I said before, he's this very strong zoner in a game of anti-zoning. And I think, though, with the right tweaks to Sagat, if they raise his mobility a bit, or raise his damage a bit, and give him a better reward on his anti-air, he could be very strong in Season 4.
Oh yeah, for sure. The base is solid. The design is there. It's just that, is a little bit undertuned maybe.
And Capcom's
not necessarily undertuned, but it's not as strong as others. Let's put it like that.
I think Capcom was really careful with Sagat and how he's going to turn out in Season 4. Season 3, sorry, and how much of an impact he's going to make. But we've seen some pretty good play with him from Bonchan, for example. Yeah. Okay, now we're getting to the last two characters here. This is where I'd say these characters kind of break the curse. These are the two characters that I feel like are good. They have added a good addition to the game, and they're strong contenders. So this first character we're going to talk about is Blanca. So Blanca, he's definitely a character that when he first came out, I feel a lot of people were really downplaying him or being a little too hard on him, not exploring him enough, and just saying that he was just really bad. Because everything Blanca does is punishable, in a sense, right? And a lot of matchups. Where Blanca, he's definitely played a little bit differently, and there's a lot of risk to everything he does in some sort of way. You know, you got the rainbow ball, you got the jungle hop, Blanca ball, one blocked up close for a lot of characters. All this is punishable, right? The slide.
Yes.
But it's more about, you know, figure out when to use these tools and just always keeping your opponent on his toes. And he's got a lot of different jump trajectories because of that, and a lot of things that be tricky. He's got that command grab, which really helped him too. So in a sense, he's got a pretty good kit for a lot of different matchups. Like against Guile, he's got slide, right? For example, against Akuma, EX up ball is very good for dealing with air fireball. Against Ibuki, air kunai, right? And then there's Manat. He's got ways to move around quickly on the screen, a lot of mobility.
Yeah, he's probably the single character with the most anti-zoning tools in the game, right? Because there is just so many ways to go through fireballs and yeah, just move around the screen. His mobility is pretty good too. I mean, he's got two different jump arcs. One of them is basically his natural jump. He's got, you know, the rainbow ball, different lengths. You can move around with the EX one. He's got good pressure too. I mean, his frame data on block is pretty nice.
Yeah, electricity, most of his... standing medium kick.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, exactly. And you also have two pretty strong V triggers. I mean, we're mostly seeing V trigger 2, but I still feel like V trigger 1 is a pretty strong V trigger. You know, empowering Blanca and especially his damage.
And it gives him another anti-zoning tool, V trigger 1, the Blanca ball, right? So yeah, V trigger 2 especially is very, very strong. Both his V triggers are extremely strong, and they're I've seen Wolfgang starting to explore V trigger 1 a bit more too, showing the potential of that. And like that's one of the biggest factors why I put Blanca at the top of this list, because both his V triggers are really good, and it's a very V trigger meta right now. So Blanca fits in perfectly. And like you said too, Mir, like his pressure is really good, and his shimmies are really good too. Like his shimmy tools are very strong.
Sending heavy punching to V-Skill is a very, very powerful.
You can make it safe, like jungle hopping backwards when you cancel into the coward crouch, you know, to the V-Skill.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but I mean, like I said, Blanca does have weaknesses though, and that is, like I said, as much as he has all these tools, a lot of them are all punishable in some way if your opponent is predicting what you're doing, and he's got a hard time with characters with excellent anti-airs and people that can punish Blanca ball easily. So like Cammy is a huge problem for Blanca. She can easily punish Blanca ball on block. Birdie is a big issue as well. Even Jury and Abigail, I find these are really tough matchups for Blanca.
Yeah, they have motion moves that can punish your Blanca ball. That's a big deal. Yeah.
Like they don't care how you maneuver that rainbow ball, right? They have just these really easy one-button anti-airs that can just eliminate that issue and not have to deal with it.
Yeah, that too.
If you can keep Blanca out, then Blanca has a huge problem for sure.
Yeah, Blanca is one of those characters where it's all about preying on your mistakes in neutral. You know, you're walking forward the wrong moment and you get hit by the Blanca ball, that kind of thing. But at the same time, yeah, like you said, if you keep him out, you have to worry about like just a couple, you know, of his options instead of all of them, and it's just much less dangerous, much less threatening as a character. But I mean, it's definitely, like, you know, we put it as second best character this season, so we definitely believe that he's got the potential to be a good character.
Okay, and finally, I'm sure you guys can figure out who this character is. The best character of Season 3 characters is definitely G. I think with G's command grab and V trigger alone, V trigger 1, are enough reason to put him at the top. That's how good they are. I think he's got the best command grab in the game. It's too unique and too crazy. It's too much damage mirror.
Yeah, the conversions off of his command grab are crazy. Even at level 1, you know, you can go into super. Yeah. That's like more damage than any other metered command grab in the game.
Yeah.
Probably.
And he's not like a grappler, you know what I mean? Like, he still has some mobility where he can get you in that situation. Capcom tried, like, toning it down by making it a huge startup frames, right? 12 frame startup. But there's so many ways to not make that a problem. Whether it's jumping in with a blocked normal, for example, or as a meaty. It doesn't matter if it's 12 frame startup, you know? So.
Yeah, and, you know, since his offense is so strong, especially on top of the fact that he has a snowbally gameplay with the presidentiality levels, they had to make his defense really weak.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a 3-frame, it doesn't have a real reversal.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, his only armored move is on V-Trigger 2.
Yeah.
And it's not even that fast, so...
Right. Yeah, just like, up in the first frame, his command grab.
Yeah, exactly. Your defense is just as good as the players. Like, it's, you're not gonna get any out of jail free cards with this character.
Right. Like I was mentioning before, there's a lot of, like, the only character with a 3-frame normal in Season 3 was Sakura. Like, every character has 4 frames. It's really strange this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, G's got a lot of unique stuff, man. A really good kit. He's got the V skill is very interesting against zoners, because he can cancel the V skill into itself. It helps him out on crazy zoner matchups like Sagat or Guile, for example. He can use it in the air. Yep. He's got the EX flip kick, or level 3 flip kick that goes right through fireballs too. So he has ways to get in, you know. But I think
and if you're sitting full screen trying to zone him out, you can always, you know, level up off of a canceled V skill or something. And so you cannot even let him be full screen. It's a very weird matchup. Yeah, for sure.
I think the thing about G, as much as we think he's, you know, easily the best character from out of the Season 3 characters, and he's definitely one of the stronger characters in the game, I think one thing that's really going to hold him back is that he's just a snowball character by design. I think that's one of the key things, is that he's designed to be weaker at the start of the round, and then he just snowballs from there as he progressively gets better or uses V-Trigger 1. So I think that's definitely what's going to hold him back in the future, and what they're going to do, especially, like, if Capcom really takes a look at that command grab, man. I just can't see G going to Season 4 without getting hit by some type of nerf. I really don't.
Oh man, I honestly can't see V-Trigger 1 not being nerfed.
Yeah, it's so sick. That V-Trigger is so sick, man. It's one of the best V-Triggers in the game right now.
Oh yeah, easily.
It's so good, man. Yeah, so G definitely broke the mold, like broke the curse for Season 3 characters. Like, and a lot of people like that character too. But I think in the future, if we see a lot of G's, man, I think people will get annoyed by him, because his robbery is very excellent. It's insane. It's really good. So yeah.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, G is a well-designed character for sure. Like we said, they did a good job with his personality, his aesthetics, his game plan in general. So hats off to Capcom for this, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some intense balancing with this character.
We'll see, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll get the vague patch notes soon, man. I can't wait.
I mean, he could become another Abigail. Maybe they'll buff him.
Yeah, that's true. That would be interesting. Maybe you're onto something. Okay, guys. So let us know what you think about this Season 3 character-only tier list. Which character you guys think is the best for Season 3? Which one you think is the worst of all these Season 3 characters? Do you guys use any of these characters? Let us know in the comments below. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps out. And yeah, we'll be back at you guys again with another discussion video in the future. So, Mir, thanks a lot for joining me. And till then, guys, take care.
See ya.